I'm gonna get this done. Good luck, kid.
What's up, everybody? This is RadTechShoe, and I'm bringing you part 19 of my Devil May Cry 4 LP. We've got a great, fun mission ahead of us this time around. Before we get going into it, though, I'm going to go into the skill level power-up menu. As you can see, all the abilities I've already bought. So we're going to cancel everything and refund all my Proud Souls just so I can buy some more abilities that I want to get and give up some abilities I don't. Like, for instance, I'm going to buy all this stuff that I already had Streak 1 and 2. However, I'm not going to get Caliber. I'm going to skip it. I don't really care for it all that much. I'm going to max out my Charge Shot and my Devil Bringer and Yamato. I'm going to buy everything for Yamato, everything for my Devil Bringer, and everything for the Blue Rose. And then I'm also going to buy a couple abilities like the Air Hike and Speed, and that'll be pretty much it for that. So we've got a boss rush ahead in this mission. We're going to fight all the bosses that we fought in the past. Burial, Dagon, Echidna, and Agnes. We're going to fight all of them, and we're going to also fight a group of Angelos, 1 Alto and 4 Bianco Angelos. So we're also, it's going to be in the style of the board game. If you remember the board game from that one mission where we tried to chase down Agnes in the underground laboratory, we're going to essentially be playing a board game, and when we go from one area of the board to the next, we'll have to fight a boss before we get there. So each time we want to move up a level, boss fight. It's that simple. So let's go ahead, start off down here. We're inside the Savior, and we now have possession of Yamato, which means Nero can once again Devil Trigger. So let's rev up, and we're gonna run forward right here, and we're gonna trigger a small cutscene that'll show us our game. Since I'm fighting all the bosses that you've watched me beat already as Nero and Dante, instead of just watching them normally, I'm going to speed up the video, and I'm actually going to play some music of my personal choice. I'm going to be playing boss battle themes from various Final Fantasy video games. They're themes that I like. I think that they're rather fun and enjoyable to listen to, so we're going to have a little fun with this boss rush. So as you can see on this first dice roll I'm about to get, a 4, it's going to lead me right into the goal, and we're going to start our first fight with 1 Alto Angelo and 4 Bianco Angelos. And that was the Fighting Fate song from Final Fantasy 13. It's the theme, it's the battle music that you hear when you fight against Bartanalis, the antagonist of Final Fantasy 13. It was a fun game. It was alright, you know, not the best, obviously. My favorite Final Fantasy game is Final Fantasy X. I definitely got some music from 10 in here as well. So, for the most part, the rules for the game board are pretty similar to what they were earlier. Blue is for orbs, red is enemies, yellow is the equivalent of a purple. If you land on a yellow, it'll actually take you over to the purple, to the exit. So landing on a yellow is just as good as a purple. White does nothing as it did last time, so the rules aren't really all that different. So we just got to go ahead, beat these Mephisto. And sometimes it'll take me a long... Sometimes, as you notice, the circular pattern, like, I can actually bypass and go in circles and be stuck on a level if I'm unlucky enough with my dice rolls. And you'll see me miss the purple a couple times, but I don't spend too long on any floor. I spend a couple minutes on one floor, but that's about it. So it's really up to chance, but even still, luck was on my side this playthrough. I actually got through a couple floors pretty quickly. So we're going to roll this dice one more time, and we need either a 1 or a 2 to continue on, or a 5 or a 6. So we have a 66% chance of getting what I want, and I get a number 1, so let's go ahead and fight Burial. That was Otherworld from Final Fantasy X, my favorite song in any Final Fantasy game, hands down, Otherworld. I would have saved it for the last one, but, you know, I have a different idea in mind for the final song in this mission. So, let's go ahead, and once again, on the first dice roll, we get a number 4. We're going to land on a yellow, and we're going to immediately proceed into our boss battle against Dagon. That was Limit Break from Final Fantasy XIII-2. Final Fantasy XIII-2 was a unique sequel to 13. I wasn't really a big fan of 13 or 13-2, to be honest. I didn't, you know, the combat system was kind of weird to me. I mean, 13 and 13-2 were just kind of like, bleh, you know, games to me. I wasn't too thrilled with any of them. So we're going to be stuck on this floor for a while, but... So that was Limit Break. That was one where you fight an optional boss in the jungle world. I forget the name of that world. You know, something Sunscape or whatever. I think that's... I can't remember. Some of the world names were ridiculous, and the story of 13-2 was also pretty ridiculous. But for the most part, like I said, Final Fantasy games have been kind of fun. They've got unique music. I do like, you know, some of the themes that they've chosen for certain bosses and characters. But Otherworld from Final Fantasy X is my #1 Final Fantasy song of all time. Now, I do enjoy it quite a bit. Let's see. For the most part, next we're gonna be fighting against Echidna, but that's not for a couple more minutes. We're gonna be on this floor for a while, so just a heads up. So I recommend you run and grab a snack or a drink if you want. We're gonna be here for a little bit, but for the most part, this has been a fun game. If I were to break this game down in terms of its strengths and its weaknesses, I would have to say that Devil May Cry 4 introduced a new main character that had a decent story. He had a decent personality. When they introduced Lucia, she seemed a little. Well, I don't think they expanded enough on her character. But they definitely gave Nero more than enough time for us to get to know him and understand him a little bit better. And the fact that Dante sees him as kind of a kid, like a bit of a punk kid, so, it's kind of funny that Nero's personality is similar to Dante from Devil May Cry 3, so I think that's one of the reasons why I like Nero so much. He's not my favorite character. I still like Dante, over Nero, but I think Nero was actually a good, he was a good protagonist alongside Dante. I think he was a pretty good character. Let's see, the bosses. Bosses had personality. Thank you once again. That's one of the biggest problems I had with Devil May Cry 2 was the lack of personality with bosses. These bosses had personality. They had quirks. They were fun to converse with before and after fights. Especially the trash talking that went on afterwards. Those were also pretty enjoyable. So right here, I'm charging up my level 3. Wait for it. Right here. I shoot him, and then it explodes later. And, it almost killed him right there. So, like I said, the charge shot level 3 is actually pretty useful against Faust. So these guys. So we're gonna go ahead and defeat this guy. We're almost done with this floor. We've got a couple more dice rolls, and right here, as you can see, I'm shooting him multiple times. I'm getting a little irritated. And I'm like, come on. 4, 5, and I'm like, God dang it, man! I keep missing. So here we're gonna fight some assaults. Luckily, not too bad, not too dangerous. Just regular old assaults. But another strength of this game would have to be the combat system and how it varies for Nero and Dante. I like the Devil Bringer for Nero and the fighting styles and the new weapons for Dante. They switch them up nicely. It isn't, like I mentioned in the last video, it's unfortunate that we didn't get enough time to play with Dante's weapons and max purchase everything that could have been purchased. And that is unfortunate, but, that's a small negative. That's a small, flaw, if you can call it that. That's just kind of like a small inconvenience on my, that I think of this game. Small that I couldn't get everything. But we're going to go ahead and here we go. Now we're finally going to land on a yellow. Now let's go ahead and square off with Echidna and watch my combo rating for this fight. And that was the Seymour boss battle theme from Final Fantasy X. A fan favorite. not my favorite, obviously. You know, Otherworld is definitely my favorite, and there are several other titles. But Final Fantasy X, god dang, man, that game had some outstanding music. So here we are on the last floor. We've got to fight Agnes, and then we'll be on the top floor, as you can see right there. So we've got one more boss battle against Agnes, and that's all we need. But we're going to be here for for quite a while, actually, even longer than we were last floor. So it is unfortunate, but hey, you know, nothing I can do about that. You know, it's all a roll of the dice, literally. So we're just going to go ahead and beat these guys up and continue to... And I'm going to just continue discussing what I like about Devil May Cry 4 and what overall I didn't like. One thing that I did not like... Now, I left off on like bosses and the difference in the characters' fighting styles. And I mentioned that I would have liked to have gotten everything. To caveat off of that is... I do like to get as much as I can, and the one negative that I have is, you know, the secret missions. I told you all about this. You could see my health bar. I need one more square to max out my health bar, but because I missed those 4 secret missions, each having a blue orb fragment, because some of them were too difficult for me to get, and some of them, when I came across them, I did not have the necessary equipment in order to tackle it, so they were pretty much forcing me to play through missions again in order to get secret missions, and I just didn't like that. I didn't think that that was fair. You know, I'm trying to get as much as I can, and you're making it so that I have to play missions a second time in order to do stuff. And you know, some of these missions I just did not care for, and I didn't want to go. And some of the secret missions I didn't care for, especially the 2 that required me to be flawless and to not get touched. Those I could not stand. I could not tolerate those, because those were very difficult. I mean, these enemies right here, you could see they're hitting me all over the place. You know, imagine fighting these guys in a room a third of this size, and you're fighting 3 of them at the same time. And if you get hit once, the secret mission's over. You know, I mean, come on, that's not fair. That's stupid. Because that's one of the secret missions, is fighting these guys. Assault with the Chimera seeds attached to them. I hate that. So I already ranted and raved about that. You know, I'm done. You know, but that was that's just something that really got to me. You know, those secret missions that I could not beat, either due to difficulty or just because I was not able to beat them, because, you know, when the time came. So for the most part, that's really it for this game. You know, good bosses, good character, good combat system, you know, decent story. The only negative is there didn't seem to be enough time with each character to max them out. Like, it didn't feel like I could have purchased all the moves. I mean, you can see there's quite a lot of things I haven't purchased yet. And I know if I had more Proud Souls, I'd be able to do it, but I don't want to play missions again just for Proud Souls, just to get everything, just to buy all the moves. I didn't have enough red orbs to purchase all the purple orbs, as well as all the blue orbs. I had to choose either between blue or purple. And I'll be getting one, and, you know, like I said, it's not, you know, it doesn't ruin this game. This game is still solid. It is still outstanding. It's an amazing title. It's still my second favorite, you know, with Devil May Cry 3 being right behind it, and Devil May Cry 2 being easily the worst entry in the series. But, you know, it's still a solid title. It's worthy of the name Devil May Cry. It deserves it. You know, they took some risks and gambles here. Some paid off, some didn't. But I still applaud Capcom for this title. This was definitely an amazing title. I definitely, you know, I give it 2 thumbs up still, regardless of all the negatives that this game had. The theme I chose for the Agnes boss battle is an iconic song. You can't really be a Final Fantasy fan and not know of this song, not know the beat, not know how iconic of a song and a hit this is. It has spawned many, you know, remakes And the opening is signature. You know, whenever you hear it, you instantly know what it is. It's unmistakable. It's a one-of-a-kind song. And it is definitely fitting for the final fight here on this in this game board. You know, I would have put Otherworld here if it weren't for this song, but because of how amazing and how epic this song is, it definitely deserves a spot as the final song in the final boss fight of this boss rush. So I hope you enjoy. That was One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. An amazing song. So let's go ahead, attack the wall, head on through, and we'll trigger the final cutscene of the mission.
Talk about shaking things up in here.
Hey, kid! You should see what I'm going through!
Guess we're in the same boat then.
And that is the end of mission 19. Alright, so a pretty short mission. I had definitely, had I not sped up the videos, it would have gone over 30 minutes. So I decided to cut you guys a break and have a little fun at the same time. So right there, nice little S ranking overall. Kicked ass, had some fun. And we're going to go ahead and save our game, override our data, and we are heading into the final mission. Next mission is the last of this game. We are going to kick some ass and have some fun. We're going to settle the score once and for all with Sanctus. He's been causing all this mayhem, and it's time to make him pay. So we're going to go ahead, save our game, override our data, and I will see you all there in the next and final mission. This is RadTech Shu, signing off.